Hello, Steve White 89. Well, we've had some good news. I'm very happy about this. Meghan McCain is leaving The View. I hate Meghan McCain, I really do. I had a few moments with her. She lost her father not that far away from when I lost my mother, so there was some moments of mutual mourning that I sort of sympathised with her, but she was just a horrible host on that show. She is immature, she's a huge snowflake. She basically, she just couldn't she's just the Princess of Arizona. She just couldn't handle anyone who didn't agree with her, and just shock, and she just couldn't handle when people didn't agree with her. She would just, it was just embarrassing to watch, and uncomfortable to watch, and that's what's happened. She said in her, God, it took a whole 8 minutes for her to go, and she's not actually leaving yet. I wish she would just leave, but she's staying till the end of the season, and then she's not coming back next year, so that'll be a good year. But she said the reason why she was leaving was that she basically had a really good base and support system at her home, and she wants to stay there, wherever that is. I can't remember where she's from. Arizona? I don't know a lot of American states and cities, but I thought she lived in Texas. I'm confused. But then I think she was staying in New York so she could film the show. So wherever she was from, she wanted to go back, is what she said. Reality is she would have got another offer from another show, because she was on one level she was getting a lot of ratings for the show because of the fights and that, but it was bad press and it's uncomfortable, because when you watch the show, it wasn't like two people really sparring. It was just one person constantly having a tantrum and disrespecting everyone else around them, and it just wasn't classy, it wasn't dignified, it wasn't good for the show. And even the Canadians were commenting on this. I watch ET Canada often, and people on that were just saying it's just uncomfortable. You just don't want to watch it. It's like when you're at someone's house and they're fighting and you can't leave, and it's just uncomfortable. That's what the show's like now. Earlier, the disagreements between the hosts were dynamic, but it's just gotten just blah. And it was funny to hear her go on about how her dad talked her into doing the show. She didn't want to do it, and ever since then she listed all the things that happened. They won an Emmy, they're #1, they were on the cover of this and that, and she tried to make it sound like she was responsible for all of it. And I'm like, the show was around for 20 years before you. You didn't make this show. It's not about you. She made it all about her and her dad, of course. But I'm just glad she's going, because she's just tedious. For a while, I was tolerating her, but it just got really got uncomfortable. You're just sort of watching it, you're just constantly annoyed with her, and you just dread when it goes to her. And the other day, Whoopi forgot to ask her something. She referred to Sarah as Megan, and then they skipped her altogether. I'm like, that was the best segment ever. We just heard from the other 4 girls and not her. It was great, because she just goes on these rants, and she's just ranting on about, she's got some agenda all the time, whether it's the Jewish side of the Israel-Palestine thing, or just the Republicans are always the victims, and just every time anything that comes up, she always finds the most trollish angle and just hits on it with that voice. And I'm just so glad. There was talk that this was going to happen. There was talk that she was going to be fired because she was just being disrespectful for the other co-host. She was making a toxic work environment, basically, and everyone could see it. And everyone was commenting on it, and it was embarrassing for the show, I think. And Whoopi, I think, had it with her. And they, of course, in their little video, they played nice, and Whoopi was like, oh, it's such an honour. Oh, I learnt so much. And there was another uncomfortable little moment where apparently her father had a bit of a crush on Sunny, and I mean, Sunny's gorgeous, so I kind of understand that. But he basically asked them to take her, take my child. It was one of the last things apparently he advised her to do before he died. So they took her, and but I'm just wondering, will they make Anna Navarro a regular now? Because she was sort of Megan's she was sort of on regularly, off and on, and she was sort of a replacement for people, and people were saying they should bring her on permanently, but they can't have 6 people because not only that would not fit on the screen because they can't get people in the studio anymore, but it just wasn't going to happen. So I'm wondering now they're going to just bring her on. I'd love them to bring Rosie back. That'd be fun. But Rosie doesn't really work without someone to spar against and without some troll like, who was that little blonde twat? The one from Survivor who knew nothing except how to exploit her looks for a career. She's working on Fox now, of course. I've forgotten her name. Well, those two, you've got to have your partners, you've got to have your things at work. And one of the reasons why she took the show was because her dad said, this is an iconic show, Whoopi Goldberg is on there, you can work with her, you need to do this. So I'm not sure if they're just going to bring Anna on or if they're going to bring on, because they're going to want some dynamic, because the producers want fights. The producers want the fights because they know they get the clicks and the ratings and that, but it doesn't always get the ratings, because when it goes from, interesting to watch to just uncomfortable to watch, people stop So unfortunately she's there till the end of the month, she's there till the end of the season. I was hoping she would just be saying, I'm going today, and not come back, because she disappeared for a few days a little while ago, and I'm like, I think something's happening here. So I'm just really glad, I'm just happy I heard this. I just saw the thing a minute ago, and I'm just like, I just want to gloat for a minute. I just want to be like, yes, I knew you were going to be gone. I knew she's being fired. They're like, this is not working, Meghan. She was there for 4 years. Somehow the other co-host managed to put up with her for that time. But it was a bit easier because of the other combinations of people that they had. But the last sort of current combination that they've got is, like the disrespect for Whoopi, the disrespect for Sunny, the way she would butt in. Whenever someone said something she disagreed with, she'd butt in like, how dare you say something that goes against what I'm saying? I said this, that's what it is, how dare you? Just the entitlement and just, oh, God, I'm just happy. So, feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Meghan. Do you hate her as much as me? Probably not. Yay, I'm just going to look forward to next season. And I hope they bring Anna back on, I think. But I'm not sure if that'll be... They need to have a balance of people. And they need to get some more colour on that on there. Because I know they got Whoopi and she's black, but that's sort of it. Like, they've had Asian people, they've had other black people, they've had more than one black people, more than one black person. It'd be nice. It's a bit white at the moment, and Meghan just made it just intolerable. But I'm going to go. Thanks. Bye.